Since this is a Star Trek review, I thought I'd wear my t-shirt that says Spock on it. I mean, granted, it's more of a Big Bang Theory reference, but it says Spock on it. Whatever. Star Trek Beyond is the third film in the Star Trek rebooted trilogy, and it's the first one not directed by J.J. Abrams, but in fact directed by Justin Lin of Fast and Furious fame, and it stars a lot of people. Now, I spent the last 2 days watching the first two Star Trek films for the first time, and I really enjoyed both of those films, so going into Star Trek Beyond, I was actually really looking forward to it, and walking out of Star Trek Beyond, I was really happy. Star Trek Beyond is an incredibly exciting roller coaster ride from start to finish. This is what summer movies should be: big, epic, exciting and really awesome, but also have good acting and great characters. The returning cast, I mean, they're great once again. What can you say? Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Carl Urban, Simon Pegg, and they're all really good in this film once again. And since this is my first Star Trek review of any kind that I've done, I'll say my favourite character of this crew, it's gotta be Spock. I love Spock. I love it when he's so logistical about everything, and all the characters are just like, dude, what are you talking about? It just creates some really good banter, and I just love how smart he is as a character. It's really cool hearing him just talk about things. We do have a couple of brand new cast members and characters in this film. First off, Sophia Boutella. You remember her, the one with the blade he likes from Kingsman: The Secret Service. She's in this film, and just like in Kingsman, she kicks a lot of ass. But she's not just a badass character who kicks ass a lot, she's actually an efficient character. She has lots of different technology that she's acquired. She actually helps the crew in certain situations with her technology. So not only was she a badass character who was great in the action scene, she was also a really efficient character and actually helpful to the crew as well. But let's get on to the villain of this film, Krall, played by Idris Elba, and just like Benedict Cumberbatch in Star Trek Into Darkness, he has an incredible screen presence. When Idris Elba comes on screen and starts talking, you can't take your eyes off it, because he just has such a captivating screen presence, and the way he talks, the way he delivers dialogue, he's such an intense character. You just can't stop listening to him. He's so good in this film. And this actual villain character, I understood his motivations, I understood why he was doing the things he was doing, he had a cool backstory, he was a pretty solid villain for this film. One of the things I loved the most about this film was how it highlighted the relationship between the characters. The first two films did a good job at that as well, but in this film they've crash landed on this planet and they have to learn to survive with each other without the Enterprise. It made it more vital that they work together to get through the situation. And it's pulled off very well, mainly thanks to the chemistry between the actors. They have really great dialogue, funny banter that never feels forced. Every time there's jokes and banter or humour, or even when they go for emotion, it always feels really natural to the situation that it takes place in. It never pulled me out of the film. In fact, it made me more engrossed into the film. It made it feel a little bit more realistic and a bit more relatable, actually. Now, the story of this film is very simple. It's nothing amazingly special or anything like that. You're not going to walk out of this film going, oh my god, that was just something completely new that I've never seen before. It's not like that, but the way I see it, this film is all about the journey, and this is a journey that I really enjoyed being on. I don't really have any major problems with this film, really. The only things I can think of are, comparatively speaking to the first two films, I thought the first two films did better with actual character arcs. In Star Trek Beyond, there are some parts where the characters like sit down and talk to each other and express some emotions, but there's not really anything that the characters are fighting with deep inside emotionally or anything like that. There's not really a lot of internal conflict with the characters in this film. But that's pretty much it. That's all I can think of are comparisons to the first two films and how the first two films might be a little bit superior to Star Trek Beyond in terms of the characters. But apart from that, guys, Star Trek Beyond was an absolute blast for me. It is very well acted, it has great characters who have great chemistry with each other and give this film its heart and soul. And on top of that, it has grand scale epic action that's some of the most exciting sequences that I've sat through all year long. I'm telling you, the scene where the Enterprise gets destroyed, oh my god, that is just something that you have to see that on the big screen. That scene is probably worth the price of admission alone. I had a really great time with Star Trek Beyond, and I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I'm saving the 5 out of 5s for the films that really blow me away and really just hit me nowadays. And on a final closing note, Anton Yelchin's in this film, and as you all know, he recently passed away, unfortunately. I really wasn't familiar with Anton Yelchin's work. The only thing I really saw him in before was Terminator Salvation, which is not really something you build a legacy on. But after watching him in these first two Star Trek films and this film, I recognised that he could have been he was a really good actor, and he could have been destined for really good things, and it was really nice seeing him in this film. He has a lot of screen time in this film, actually, more than I thought it would. So I know he's going to be in more films later that he completed before his death, but this was kind of a cool send-off for Anton Yelchin, so Rest in peace, good sir. Guys, tell me in the comments below what you thought of Star Trek Beyond. How does it compare to the first two films, or as a standalone film? And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Live long and prosper.